Hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to DIY with Nadia and welcome to another Wreath Wednesday. Today, we are making a Deco Mesh Christmas bell wreath using the Nadia method and also using the new bell wreath form from the Dollar Tree. Let's get started. For this new wreath form from the Dollar Tree, I am going to be using this ivory colored Deco Mesh. It has little gold threads in it. And I did decide to give it a coat of some gold spray paint. And then, of course, I'm going to seal it with some acrylic coating. Now I'm going to prepare some pipe cleaners. I always cut them into 4-inch little strips. You don't need more than that. And then what I do is I make them into little V's. Now that I have my pipe cleaners, all I do is I just kind of find the middle and fold them into a little kind of V shape. It's just easier when you're making the bows. Now for our Deco Mesh. I'm going to be using a 6-inch Deco Mesh that's by 5 yards. And if you divide it into 12-inch pieces, you should get 15 pieces out of each roll. I'm going to start with 4 rolls. Before I start cutting it up, I wanted to show you what I look for in Deco Mesh rolls. I look for a nice even roll like this. That doesn't always happen because you're looking for a certain color sometimes. But if you can, just pay attention to the edges right here to make sure you have a beautiful roll. That way it's just going to make it easier for you. So I'm going to start cutting these into little 12-inch strips. I'm using a rotary cutter. You can use scissors, whatever you have on hand, but a rotary cutter here is it's just so much easier. Now it's time to start making our bows. I'm going to keep my Deco Mesh looped just like it is, and I'm going to kind of just walk it out and open it until it's overlapping about 1.5 inches. So 1 inch to maximum of 2 inches, but don't forget, when you get closer to 2, you're really taking away from the size of the bow. I'm going to hold it on top, hold it at the bottom, and I'm just going to bring it down. And then with one hand, I'm going to be holding right here. With my thumb right here, I'm just going to be holding to make sure that it holds, the overlapping stays in place kind of. And then now from the bottom, I'm going to start making my way up. There you go. When I get to the top, I'm grabbing one of my pipe cleaners, and it's kind of easy when it's in a V, and just put it right around. And I just fold the bow really quickly and then twist, 2-3 twists, and there you go. Our first bow is done. Let's make another bow. And by the way, Leo is here to monitor me to make sure I'm doing everything correctly and to say hello to all of you. I'm overlapping about 1.5 inches here, holding top and bottom, bringing it down. From the bottom, I'm going to start walking it up. With my thumb, I'm holding to make sure that everything stays nice and even. There you go. And this is the smooth end. This is the back end of when we were making the bow. Bring our V in over here, our pipe cleaner. There you go. 2 twists. And now let's look at our fraying in this little bow. Some of the fraying is here in the back, and you can hardly see it. It's nice and sealed kind of in the back here. The other part of the fraying is inside the bow. So it's hidden and it's secured. Here you can tell a little bit. But it's hidden and there should be no fraying. It's all held up over here. When I bend it, you can actually see the edging, but it's all locked in. And that's what makes this method absolutely awesome, because you don't have to deal with the fraying. I'm going to make one more, but we're going to speed it up. There you go. And now I'm going to just finish all 4 rolls and I'll be right back. Now it's time to start filling in the bell. And I'm going to start by filling in the top row, and I'm just going to put it around both of these, or you could put around one of them. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to fill in these 3 areas right here. Then we're going to assess the bell to see what it looks like to figure out what we want to do at this bottom portion right here. And I'm just putting the bows on there and giving it a few twists and then hiding the pipe cleaner behind our little bow right here so it doesn't scratch. I am done with row number 1, and there's 11 altogether in this row. Now I'm going to start on row number 2. I have 3 rows done right here. And so we come to this area right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in this middle area, and I'm going to fill it in nice and tight. If I feel like I need to fill in over here, we can just add a few right there where it kind of expands, because this actually, do you see how it goes at the bottom? It goes up and down. So once we start putting the bows on, it should cover some of this, but I'm sure there will be a little bit of space. We'll see how that goes. And then if we have to, we'll just, fit more in. I'm thinking I might use anywhere from 15 to 17. From the top 2 rows, we have 8 left over because it's only 11 from a 15 bow roll. And then here we have 14 out of 15. So we have like 9 left over that we can either put right there. So 4 rolls of Deco mesh seems to be like the magic number for this wreath. And I'm glad, because if you're gonna keep it at that, this wreath is going to cost you $5. And then if you decorate with something you already have on hand, that's even going to go further. So I think this is going to be one of those economical and beautiful, beautiful wreaths. By the way, when you have a bow like this, where even if you squish it together, you see the middle, all you have to do is just open them up and move one of the other bows, overlap them, like this. That way you just cover the area up, move this to the side, and keep on going. All right, and here is our bell. I have 11, 11, 14, and then 18 in this bottom row right here. I'm going to fill in right here at the top with some of the ones I have left. And I have 5 left. And I'm just going to fill in on top. I'm not trying to fill in too much because I do want to decorate it on top just a little bit. But you do need to fill it in to keep the shape. We don't need to make a hanging hook because we got one right there. And there you go. It's a bell shape. And right here, I'm not going to fill anything in this one. I think it's full enough. It's quite a filled bow, nice and full. Now it's time to decorate it a little bit. For the bell at the bottom, I'm going to be using this little ornament from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing I'm going to do is take the decor off. There you go. It's being held by a little zip tie. I'm just grabbing little clamps that I have. For the paints I will be using, I'm going to be first going in with a darker metallic color. This one is called Rich Espresso and it's by Dazzling Metallics. And then by Folk Art, I have this Brushed Gold, which is a lighter color. Don't forget, this part right here is going to be covered and not shown. And so first I'm going to do the edge, and it's going to look sloppy. Don't worry about it, we'll fix that. This is just to get to the edge right here. And then from here, I'm going to work down and up. Okay, this dried. I'm going in with coat number 2. Now I'm grabbing a shabby brush, and I'm going in for the lighter gold, because I want some of that dark to still peek through. And our bell is all done. For the bow, we're going to make one we haven't actually made on this channel. And I'm going to be using a recycled ribbon. It's a velvet ribbon on one side and it has this gold on the other side. And of course, Dollar Tree has some red ribbon which you can use for this, but I really wanted to use this velvet one. As you can see, I got a piece of floral wire cut off. This is from the Dollar Tree, of course. And now we're going to start on the bow. We're going to make a simple bow today, but it's going to be a little different. The tail and the actual loops are going to be separate. So first I'm going to gather my tail just like this, and in the meantime I'm just going to clip it. Just let it sit there. For the tail, I'm not going to do measurements because you can make them as long or as short as you want, but mine right here in particular, this one is going to be about 11 to 12 inches in length. And now for our loops. I'm grabbing a piece that's 20 inches in length. Then I'm going to come around and overlap it 1.5 to 2 inches. You don't want to be too skimpy on this part. After I've done that, I find my center and I bring it in. Next, we're going to squish it together, and I'm just going to make little accordion kind of creases right here, just back and forth. Let's straighten this out. And then I'm going to grab my wire and I'm going to tighten it. Grabbing another 20-inch piece, I'm going to overlap it just the same. Find my center, bring it in. That's pretty even. And now I'm going to start making my accordion. So up and down, and then straighten it out. And then I'm going to place it next to it and grab one of the wires and wrap it around tightly one way. Grab the other one, tighten around the other way. And now I'm going to bring in my tail and then put the wire around that. Nice and tight there. And then the other wire going the other way. Tighten it up and start twisting it. Now I'm just going to grab another piece and put it around the center to cover that area up. And I left the wire long enough so I can wrap it around whatever I want. Now I'm bringing in my bell and I'm going to put the bow on top of my bell. I'm going to attach it to the little loop where the little loops overlap right here and just twist it in place. And then there you go, there's the bow on top. And then at the bottom, we're going to add our little bell that we did. And you can either use a zip tie or you can use whatever you have on hand. I'm actually going to use one of the leftover pipe cleaners. As you can see, I'm not attaching it to the hoop right here because with these wreath forms, I don't always trust them. That's why when I attached here, I also attached to the bar, to the actual structure, just to make sure that it's nice and safe there. And there you go. We have our bell and we have our beautiful bow.